Hello, I'm Dr. Emma Hitt-Nichols, and this is my weekly AMA Manual of Style Guide tip that I hope will be useful to medical writers and also our clients at Nascent Medical. Please share with your colleagues if you find this useful. Thanks. This is from content in the first section, which is preparing a manuscript for publication, and it is in the very first subsection. Types of articles covered in this section include reports of original data, review articles, descriptive articles, consensus statements, and clinical practice guidelines. Articles of opinion, correspondence, and reviews of books, journals, and other media. Other types of articles is the last section. For reports of original data, these original reports are described by the manual as the backbone of medical and scientific communications. These contain original findings and are usually structured in the typical IMRAD, Introduction, Methods, Results, and Discussion format. The abstract is these days very important as readers often scan these before proceeding to read the article. The next section is review articles. These present the available information about a particular topic, and according to the manual, they are important because clinicians often use them as guides for clinical decisions. Reviews should therefore include all relevant data and steer clear of the author's bias. Reviews may or may not involve a meta-analysis to combine quantitative results from independent studies. Again, an abstract will help provide the insight needed as to whether to read the full article, so they are very important. The next section is descriptive articles. This category includes case reports, clinical observations, special articles, and special communications, and can include anecdotal, although novel, observations that can stimulate research or provide clinical insights to readers. Some journals prefer to consider these letters to the editor and publish them only if they make a unique observation that merits more systemic investigation. Case reports may be considered educational, highlighting clinical features of a disorder, while reviewing the issues illustrated by the case. Because of the variability of their content, there's no standard format for descriptive articles, although they may include a short abstract. Consensus statements and clinical practice guidelines. These may be produced by a group of experts after they assess the available evidence for a disease state. Recommendations may be published as consensus statements developed at a conference or as clinical practice guidelines, sometimes called practice parameters, developed over time. As with all articles, the sponsor and selection of the participating experts should be described, as should the process for creating the consensus or recommendations. The next section are articles of opinion. So editorials are short essays that usually reflect the views of the editor or policies of the journal. Editorials may be written by the editor, a member of the editorial staff or editorial board, or an invited author. Editorials may provide additional context and opinion regarding the meaning of a study's findings, or may deal with a standalone topic. Authors of editorials used to be kept anonymous, but these days are usually identified due to the increasing transparency requirements of authorship. Opinion pieces that represent only the views of the authors rather than those of the journal may be published as a commentary or viewpoint rather than as an editorial. The next section, correspondence. The International Committee of Medical Journal Editors has recommended that all biomedical journals provide a mechanism for submitting comments, questions, or criticisms about published articles, as well as brief reports and commentary unrelated to previously published articles. That's a quote. These articles may comment on an article previously published in the same journal, and the original authors may respond. They typically should be submitted within a month of the article publish date and should focus on the scientific issues in question rather than attacking the authors. Okay, so those are the main article types that it's really good for medical writers to know about. Thank you so much for watching today. If you need medical writing help, please check out our website, nascentmc.com. And if you're interested in getting into medical writing, please visit 6weekcourse.com. That's a numeral 6weekcourse.com. Thanks so much.